I once read a quote by the great roe deer specialist Richard Pryor, who said, "Deer study people like their lives depend on it," which of course they do. Deer are quick to adapt their behaviour, much like a range of other wild animals that have adapted their behaviour to become synanthropic. That is to say that they have become ecologically associated and even dependent on human habitats. Such examples might be rats, the house mouse, and the urban fox. And as the UK deer population expands to its highest level in 1,000 years and as man encroaches more and more on the countryside, it's only natural that deer also diffuse into the regions where towns meet the country. This is further encouraged by the increasing green spaces in our cities and the pressure of hunting and shooting in the surrounding countryside. It's no surprise, therefore, that deer are adapting to spend more of their time in urban areas. The problem, however, is that with no natural predation, deer numbers in the UK expand by as much as 30% per annum, and high numbers can result in disease, starvation, and as deer venture closer to cities, the inevitable deer-vehicle collision. The solution is, as with most things, multi-pronged. Yes, we must strive to preserve and enhance our green spaces, but having removed our native lynx and wolf, we must also recognise our obligation to control deer ourselves. One such area is Plymouth, where the deer are increasingly becoming a familiar sight in urban environments. Today I'm here with Paul Simons, who spends an inordinate amount of his time dealing with this growing problem. Good to see you, Paul.
Cheers, Peter.
Nice to be down here in Plymouth, where I understand the deer are becoming a bit of a problem. Is that right?
Yeah, we've got massive population of fallow deer living in the urban area. Anywhere north of the A38 basically is that cuts straight through the city.
Yeah.
They're common. They're common sight. People are now,
And they're coming right into the towns, aren't they?
Yeah.
You're seeing them on the roads,
Yeah.
people's gardens.
Yeah. We actually have a lot of fallow coming into the hospital grounds as well, into the Marjans University, trading estates. They are everywhere, and they've come in to feed.
And how are the council dealing with it?
They're not,
Okay.
basically. There are. In fact, that's not fair. They are dealing with it. There's nothing we can do from a cunning perspective. Obviously, it's unsafe. It's not legal. We just not go down that road.
Yeah.
So all the control measures have to be passive. Fencing, protection for trees, etc. Of course,
Yeah.
that has an economic impact. The council are paying for deer fencing. We know how expensive that is. So that's coming out of my council tax.
Yeah. And so obviously you've made the points. We can't be shooting deer in these types of environments for
Yeah.
obvious reasons.
Yeah.
So how do you set about getting the deer population down? How do you set about getting those numbers down?
The only thing we can do is work on the margins of the town where it's safe and legal to do so. So we've engaged with landowners, estates, etc., that are surrounding the edges of Plymouth.
Yeah.
And when the deer are coming out where it's safe and legal, as I say, then we can perform some.
I see. So effectively, you're doing the next best thing. You're
Yeah,
shooting
correct.
them just in the peripheries of
Yeah.
the towns,
Yeah.
so that you can actually get a safe shot,
Yeah.
and also reduce the densities, I suppose, in those areas.
Yeah.
But tell me something, because
Yeah.
in the city centres itself, occasionally you're coming across deer, aren't you, that you're having to release?
Yeah, it's quite common. I couldn't tell you how many I've done this year.
Really?
I was even called out Christmas Day.
Oh, really?
It's they're forever getting where humans and wildlife interact, inevitably wildlife loses.
Yeah.
And they're getting caught up in washing lines, they're getting caught up in football nets, they're getting caught up on cricket pitches, they're getting caught up in schools,
Yeah.
you name it. And I've worked with all of those estates and cleared them out.
Yeah.
Generically, we do our best for the animal to try and get it away.
Yeah.
PR is really important.
Yeah.
You want to be seen as a deer manager to release the animals.
Yeah.
And occasionally,
And I mean, there's no opportunity, obviously, to put that deer down. That opportunity, and why would you? Because if
Yeah.
you can set that free a deer, it's a very nice thing to be able to do, isn't it?
Exactly.
Good PR, as you say.
Good PR. I mean, sometimes we have to, and what we'll do is we'll call the police ARV out to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they can have the PR.
But again, that's taxpayers'
Yeah.
expense again, isn't it?
Yeah, they're having an economic impact, quite a big one,
Yeah.
as well. Not only from a devastating farming perspective, the RTCs are common now. The A38
Yeah.
was closed the other day
Yeah.
for about 6 hours with a multi-vehicle deer strike.
Yeah.
That obviously has people being late for appointments, missing their lives, etc. They are becoming a real problem.
Yeah.
And
Well, we've got a couple of clips, I think, on camera of you setting a couple of deer free, which I think are absolutely brilliant. So let's have a look at some of those now.
We've seen an animal in distress, so we're going to release, or try to. Don't want to dispatch it. Steady. Okay. Released. Matt, 3, 2, 1. Roll to me. Roll to me. Yeah. Go. Right, he's still got a bit on his head, but that'll come off as soon as he goes.
Oh! So well done with those.
Thank you.
That's great to see, isn't it? Not easy pinning down an agitated deer, is it?
No, I mean, they are live weight. We're talking over 100 kilograms of pure muscle, adrenaline.
Yeah.
And they are dangerous.
Well, I mean, once you've got the antlers
Yeah.
as well, I mean,
Yeah.
the chances of getting gored is quite
Well,
high, I imagine.
In personal experience, I think up to a sorrel we can deal with.
Yeah.
Anything bigger, then I would be ringing an RV saying, sorry, I can't do it. Or
Yeah.
maybe 4 or 5 guys can do it, but
Yeah.
the chances of it going wrong are just too high.
Yeah.
So it's not good.
But the amount of stress that deer is under as well.
Yeah.
Do they survive after that, do you think?
Yeah, well, generically, if they've had, I mean, we got one deer in particular. We have common fallow in Plymouth. The chestnut and white spots. We have one Menolithic buck. We named him Shadow because he was the only dark one about.
Yeah.
And he got caught up, and the next year his antlers didn't grow because the coronets were
Oh,
injured.
really?
Yeah, and he was the only one about. He grew a single antler, and then he started deteriorating. So longer term, it's not good for their welfare. But what can you do? You've got to do what's right by them.
Well, today we're here to actually get the numbers down a little bit, aren't we?
Yeah.
So we're going to head outside of the town now, aren't we,
Yeah.
into
Yeah.
the peripheries and see if we can stalk in on a couple of fallow.
Yeah, I mean, we're at the end of March now, so it's been a long season. Fatigue's kicking in.
You and me alike.
Yeah, not as fit as once was.
I've got the early starts with the roebuck coming up now, so maybe that'll be just as hard.
Yeah, again, 4 a.m. starts. So what we're looking to take today is either a mature doe or a couple of mature does if we can, because they won't have dependent fawns. It's all about sustainability. Or if we get yearling males, any big males we're not going to touch for the simple reason they've cast their antlers, so we don't know what we'll be shooting.
And tell me one last thing. It's jam before cream, isn't it?
No, cream first. If you want jam first,
You're sure
go
about
Devon,
that?
100%. If you want cream, if you want jam first, go Cornwall. Not having it.
Good to see you, Paul.
Cheers. Okay, we're about a mile or two from town now, up the Plymridge Valley. This wood is absolutely chocker with fallow. They're causing real biodiversity problems. We've got to get the numbers down. We're at the end of March, so the cull plan is either a doe, mature doe ideally, or a yearling pricket. We're leaving the big bucks alone because they've cast their antlers and we want to keep the quality. Today, I'm in the woods with my Swarovski TM35 thermal. That can identify them before they see me, hopefully. And my 6.5 PRC Savage 110 High Country. Very powerful rifle, very humane rifle, very accurate rifle. Does the job, which is what we're here to do, and this is a job, not recreational. Okay, we've got our animal, yearling fallow, exactly what we're after, meets the cull plan, and crucially the animal didn't suffer. Low neck shot, about 50 yards, which means that shot is legitimate at that range. So we have another one down for the cull chart. Let's go and see how Peter got on.
Okay, so what's happened is a group of fallow, maybe Paul actually, because he's taken a shot, I've heard earlier on, and a group of fallow have come out into the field just beyond the woodland. There's about a dozen of them, I think. But the problem I've got there is that I'm trying to shoot down there without a deflection, and all the branches and twigs are going to make that difficult. So I'm going to have to look for a little window between those branches and twigs in order to be able to take my shot. The other thing that's happening is, because they're a little bit nervous from Paul's shot, is they're all bunched up together, and you want to be very careful when deer are overlapping like that, because the bullet will usually come through one, pass through one, and then can potentially injure another one. So what I want to do is hopefully wait for a couple of those variables to come into place, the deer to come clear, and also to find that little window of opportunity. And if that happens, well, we might be in for a shot. Hello, mate.
Hi, Pete. How'd you get on? Well,
Yeah,
all right.
good. Yeah, I heard you take a shot.
Yeah, there's loads of deer in there.
Yeah, it's great. It's really good wood, isn't it?
Yeah,
You had some up?
yeah, took a pricket.
Congratulations, mate. Well done.
Cheers. So you've done all right as well?
Yeah, a little fallow doe. Well, I say a little one, a nice mature fallow doe, actually.
Yeah. Many in the herd?
Yeah, well, it's strange, because after your shot went off,
Yeah.
they all came out into the field, probably about a dozen, I would have thought.
Yeah.
I expect you probably bumped them in there when you
Same
took
group.
the shot. I expect same group. And then just one came clear, and I managed to get a shot off. So
Nice.
Yeah.
Landowner will be happy.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
well done.
well done.
Good.
Cheers,
Good
man.
stuff. No matter in what circumstances the deer has been shot, provided the animal is healthy and well and has been inspected by a trained hunter, it will be submitted into the human food chain as a healthy, nutritious form of wild meat. If you'd like to take a deer stalking qualification and become a trained hunter yourself, then a great place to start is by taking the Proficient Deer Stalker Certificate Level 1, PDS1, via the UK Shooting and Hunting Academy. Alternatively, if you'd like to hear more about hunting in the UK and how to get started, you may be interested to listen to a new podcast from Blood Origins, in which I talk frankly with Blood Origins founder Robbie Krunga. Just check out the link below. That's it for this month. Thanks for watching.